started. Okay. Good evening, my brothers and sisters. I want to welcome you all once again to this session. In our previous video, we started talking about the aura and how your aura can manifest your experiences. And prior to this session, we discussed about the state in which our world is and the auspicious moments in which we find ourselves in time like this, and what we need to do in order to escape the control of these entities, these malefic destructive entities that is trying to control our earth space and to take advantage of people's ignorance. And I talk of the fact that we must learn to radiate more love, more compassion, more forgiveness, more kindness, and all these positive traits, because this positive trait kills these entities, kills them, destroys them, because they don't feed on those things, and they only feed on our ill emotions like anger, bitterness, jealousy, covetousness, backbiting, fighting, and all those ill emotion, untruthfulness, and all those things. So once we begin to rather radiate this positive, loving, and caring, forgiving energy, they begin to die from the system, and then we can have our total freedom. Well, today we want to continue with the issue we were discussing before, which is how your aura manifests your experiences, be it for success or, for want of better word, for failure. So we talk in our first session, or permit me, for the lack of better word, to use episode 1, that we need to understand that aura is our energy field. Okay, aura is our energy field, and that everybody radiates certain level of energy at varying frequencies. Now, these energies we radiate comes in two ways. They come through our electrical field, at the same time comes through our magnetic field, and the two brought together create a field we call the electromagnetic field, which is quite an invisible field, but with training and those who have the expertise can see this field with the sixth sense. So now this field is what determines the kind of experiences you go through in one lifetime. And I talk about this, the fact that this electromagnetic field is an invisible wave field, but it is there. Whether you like it or not, it is there and it is with you. And that is why you can go to a place, somebody you have never seen before, he's never spoken to you before, he just sees you and doesn't like you. It's dependent on your energy field. That field, that energy field we call aura, does not match with his energy, with his own aura field, or with his own energy field. So as soon as he sees you, there's that kind of repel. Meanwhile, there's a place you go, the person has not seen you before, you said, also be a minimum, you look like somebody I know. And honestly and truthfully, you've never met this person all your life before, because of your aura, because probably you may have a sweet aura and the person too may have a sweet aura, so there's that mutual attraction to one another. So things that are happening to us depends on the kind of energy field we create around us, and this energy field is formed as a result of how we live our lives, the way we behave, the way we talk, the things we think about, our emotions. These are the things that create our energy field. And that energy field determines your level of manifestation and the kind of things you experience in your life. Whether your business is going to be successful with your business partner, whether your business is going to be successful with your clients, whether your marriage is going to be successful, whether you're going to have good friendship, all depends on your energy field. So you need to build a positive aura or a positive energy field around you through the way you think, through the way you feel, through the way you act, so that you can magnetize, attract, and manifest positive and good things in your life and the world around you. So these were the things we looked at in episode 1 of how your aura manifests your experiences. Today we are going to look at, probably we're going to look at 2 if time permits us, or maybe I have to treat it in another video. We are going to look at the layers of the aura and how they manifest in the field of the spectrum of colors, and what each color implies, and what happens for us to generate this frequency of energy, or this wave of aura energy. So what I'm trying to say is that auras that you have manifest in 7 spectrums of light or color or pigment, whichever we want to put it. Now, each pigment that you see is not always positive and it's not always negative. It depends on what led, or what was done, conceived, felt, that led to the formation of that energy field. So the energy field that you have, irrespective of the color, could be positive and produce positive manifestation, or could be generated as a result of negative energy and will give you negative manifestations. So that is what we want to look at, and then we will then proceed to look at the difference between aura and vibration. And I think this topic is very essential because a lot of people interchange or misuse vibration as aura and aura as vibration. They use them interchangeably and they perceive them almost one and the same thing, but they are different. So we are going to look at the differences between aura and vibration, and how these two formation comes about and how to deal with them. So today we are looking at the color spectrum that constitutes the various dimensions and levels of aura. That is what we are looking at. So today's lecture, I'll try to make it brief because I'm shooting about 2 or 3 videos today, so just a little bit tired. So I'll just make it straightforward. Just a second, I just want to make it straightforward. I'm getting my file to do the presentation for you. So when auras are formed when you toe a particular line of behavior, emotions, or thinking. This is how come auras are formed. So the formation of aura is dependent on the structure of your personality. The way your personality functions is how you create the vibration, you create that frequency, that wavelength, that invisible waves around you. And that is why it is very important to have control over the way you think and the way you feel and the way you act. Because the way you think influences the way you feel, and the way you feel influences the way you act. And this then generates that energy field around you. How do you know when, let's say, if you see somebody who is a pastor, someone just see the person, rather that this person is into ministry. I don't know a person who noticed that thing before. If you see somebody who he smokes ganja, you just see the person. The person could even be a doctor, could be a lawyer, could be whoever it is, could be a politician. But you see him, if you're somebody who invests, you can sense that energy around him. You can see a very beautiful lady who is well dressed. If the lady is promiscuous, you could just see. Why? Because everything you are doing is generating energy. Because don't forget that everything in this life is energy. And that is why all benevolent entities try as much as possible to put us in a different thinking pattern and emotional pattern so that we can generate certain energy for them to feed on. Which I talked in our previous session. I talked about in our previous session. So you have to be aware of the way you think. That is why the Bible in the Bible says that guide thy heart, for out of it cometh what the issues of what life. And it's also said in the annals of scriptures that as a man thinketh, so is he. So your thought pattern and your emotional patterns forms your reality. And this reality manifests as a result of the energy which is created around you, which in most cases appears invisible. Though invisible, but it is electromagnetic in nature, so it contains power. So we are going to look at the various colors. As I told you, this will be very short. I want to just go straight to, will not be one here and there. We are going to look at various colors, and I will explain what constitute those colors, be it positive or negative, and probably where you can find it within your the seven, because we have the 7 bodies. So as we have the 7 energy centers, and then we have the 7 spectrum of our aura in energy field. And you must understand all these things, because these are the things that actually are disturbing you. These are the things that actually are disturbing you. Because Bible says that for lack of knowledge, my people perish. So you are perishing not because Obia to withdraw. You are perishing not because Beifobi air yell. You are perishing not because Bosumbi air yell. You are perishing not because Susumbi air yell. You are perishing because you lack knowledge of your persona. And once you lack knowledge of your persona, there is that void that has been created. So any entity can come in and use you as a puppet to his benefit. Into be who say mu webusuemu. O ye beka say hunhun bi etis obusuan no, but obi webusuan no ma still obenye sika. Ye beka say ebusuan aware ni, but obi webusuan no obeware. Ye beka say obusuan no o ware a ontumi wo, obi webusuan obeware obewo. Why? I don't know, they are exceptional, Anna. That's a question you have to ask yourself. Is the person exceptional? The answer is no. The only reason why these energies, these entities are having access to you, because there's a void, there's an open space that you have left, so it is easy for them to penetrate and then fill it and then do whatever they want to do in your life. But where there's no dwelling place, there's nothing to stand on, there's no open space, there's no void, where do they stand to operate in your life? So when you read the book of Matthew, they say, and the devil came to Christ, and the devil came to Jesus, but he had nothing in him. There was no void, there's no empty space for him to stand on. Likewise, when Jesus Christ healed the madman at Capernaum, is it Capernaum, eh? And then I'm talking about the kind of healing where there was a negotiation, and there was demon possession, and there was legions of demons, and they were possession, and the demons negotiated with Jesus that he should send them into the pigs so that they will enter into the water and then escape from the pigs. When Jesus has complied and has done those things according to as dictated by the demons, Jesus says so. He said, you should go and feed yourself. But when you cast out a demon, and the demon he goes to Rome. After roaming, he'll come back to the possessor to see if there's still the void there. And he says that if he comes and there is void there, he is going back and call more demons to come and fill that void, and that it will be terrible. So all these entities operate in your life because there is a void in your life. Not because they have the power to control you or to do anything to you, but because you create the fertile grounds for them to operate. So what is destroying your life is because you lack knowledge. Knowledge of your what? Knowledge of your personality, knowledge of yourself, and knowledge of what you are supposed to be. And how to harness your energy so that other external energy cannot penetrate. That is why for me, when people come to me and they're talking about spiritual names, I don't give attention to that, because I understand the dynamics of it. But once you tell me, oh, you say busumbi ne emifi ne ema nkoso, you say ahun bi na, I don't pay attention to that. I pay attention to that which gives them the opportunity to operate in your life. So I know that once that is solved, then they are not a problem to deal with. Now the issue is, you can deal with them, they are going to go. A pastor will do deliverance for you, they are going to go, but they are just going to go just for a little while. And they are going to come back. And this is the reason why a lot of people do deliverance, a lot of go to ritual exercises, and at the end of the day, they don't see any progress in their life because the void is there. And then these demons and these energies go, and then they come back, the void is there, and they come and fill the void again. So nothing really changes. So if you understand the dynamics of these entities and how they work, the concentration should rather be in building the person so that these energies cannot infiltrate. In the process of building the person, there will be some discomfort, there will be some pain, there's some agony, because the person needs to go through the process. But you know from where you are coming from, or from where I am coming from, based on my experience, once the process is complete, you don't need to fight. Because the point is, common sense should tell you that it's only the unwise person who try to fight darkness in a room. It's only the unwise person that tried to find darkness in a room. We changed the camera position, so I kept looking at this side. It's only the unwise person that fight darkness in a room. All you need to do is to invite in light, and darkness naturally will recede. You don't fight demons. You don't fight territorial spirits. You don't fight family spirits. You don't fight them. You don't deliver yourself from them. Create the conditions that makes them ineffective in your life, and they will naturally leave. And these are things people don't know, they don't understand. So you are there going here, you're going to bath Tamihu, you're going to bath Nyenya, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. They put you here, they put you in some water, they do this bath, they cut this goat, cut this cow, and do this and do that and do that. And after all these things, go for deliverance, go to park and go and pray, rolling on the floor, yelling and shouting, go, I bind your cars, go, break loose and go. After all these things, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, things still go back and become worse. And when the thing gets worse, it even gets worse than before. Why is it so? Because the problem is not being tackled at the root cause. There's a lady who came to me from, I don't want to make, from one of these European countries, and she had a problem. And that's all. It's about marriage. Well, you push him with this. I said, look, okay, fine. We need to deal with this issue. But don't think I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I think is right. In the course of it, probably you may lose your husband, because that is what it's going to do. But it's not stopping your husband that is going to stop the problem. Yes, we can do something to bind your husband, but the problem is still there. Work on building yourself. Work on the fertile grounds that gives this energy to breed. Make that grounds unfertile for them. Make that grounds unaccommodatable for them. They will go. Once they go, they can't come. Now, when the right man comes or the same husband comes back, it is beautiful and it is now and forevermore. So I spoke with her. I know that initially she didn't like it. That time we were at the old place. And I spoke to her a couple of girls. Mr. Mason, now I understand you. Now I look like a little bit less worried. But I think now I'm gaining my grounds. All those things that kept me worried, and like by this time my ear perplexed, my ear confused, then I cannot even concentrate, go to work and all those things. So, and now I have gained control over my space. I say yes. To the extent that the husband initially prepared the divorce letter. Now she begins to deal with the divorce letter. The husband doesn't know how to come back to her and apologize. Did he fight the husband? No. Did they bath anytime? No. Did they go to any diva? No. Did they go to a park to pray? No. She dealt with the fundamental issue. Build the self, because the self is in charge. When the self is porous, the consciousness is porous, any other thing can control you. It doesn't matter. And one of the first steps is to build a strong aura. Once you're able to build a strong aura, I can tell you without doubt, no entity on this earth and outside this earth space can go against you, even including the angels. Because that aura you build around you is the vibration of the divine energy that is resonating around. That is why they be here, don't Jesus Christ, and I decide picture nature. They decide when each one. The hallowed, they try no. Have you ever seen a true Jesus picture? Let me see if I can get the fake Jesus picture. But it's symbolism. It's telling you something. It's not that I'm against doing all those rituals, and that's not it. But for me, I said deal with the fundamental issues. The issues that gives the grounds and serves as a conducive breeding place for these entities. Make that place unconducive for them. And you're good to go. And you realize things begin to fall in its place effortlessly. And the starting point for making the grounds uncomfortable and unbreathable for them is to begin to build strong, powerful aura energy. To the way you talk, to the way you act, to the way you think, to the way you feel. Because it is character that builds aura. Because character is energy. That is why Obi to me Subambisa, I do level and I say they call it addiction. Addiction is the control of the energy of the character. But the character you're exhibiting, there's an energy attached to that character. Now, when you engage in that character over a certain period of time, that energy begins to grow. Now, when the energy of that character takes control over your personality, which is your persona, we call it what? Addiction. So you can't do anything about it. So when you bring somebody who is a drunkard, Fred, will work at it, not from binding, losing, or spell. I'll work at it right from breaking the hold of the energy of that character. Because it is an energy which has grown to have hold. So I break the hold of the energy of that character. And one of the ways to break the hold of the energy of that character is not to stop the person from going to drinking spot. Because you can't break it. The person must sit at the drinking spot, see the drink, and be able to stop. Say, he will not have the desire to drink. When he sees the drink, sits with the people who are drinking, and then he doesn't have the desire to win the drink, the energy has been broken. We call it you've broken the spell. Then the person becomes free of the hold. Now, any other things, then you begin to give him, do this, bad, do that, then begins to work. Minimum be a draw their mano. Nay, they do not chance on Musani. Yeah, for some time about 3 months, 6 months, in some center, or you feel like vomiting. Maximum 1 year, that thing will go off. You go back to drinking. Because the character energy that controls that space has not been broken yet. And you must do so by first refining the person in thought, emotion, and in action to be able to refine the person's character. And once that thing is refined, the aura space begins to refine. And once the aura space begins to refine, and the person gets to the level of conviction, say, you are done. Then it begins to build a new. It takes time, but it is permanent. All other things are temporary. It takes time, but it is permanent. Now, say in your mind, you say, I have issues in my life that I know what put A, B, C, D together, I'll solve the problem. But sometimes I give it the natural flow and I deal with the root cause. Because I don't want it to persist in my energy field. Then my kids who are around me, then will be affected by that energy field. So that is what you need to build first. So as I told you, the aura comes in 7-fold colors. Comes in that spectrum of 7 colors. So let us look at it in a more practical perspective, in a pictorial form. So now, this is how the aura works like. Okay, every thought, every emotion, and every action you make generates an invisible electromagnetic energy field around you. And say that here. So now this thing you see around this image is the aura field. Now the one that is up here is the divine. Comes in, has the probability to be corrupted by thought. But your true essence is divine. Your true consciousness is divine. When it comes in here, okay, and passes through the pineal gland, now it goes into duality. That is where the probability of getting corrupt begins. So the way you think is the foundation to the determination of the kind of aura energy you build or the electromagnetic field you build around you. So this is how it looks like in varying colors. Watch these colors. When you begin to meditate, you begin to see this spectrum of colors. When you begin to meditate on the light and sound energy, the first level of the spectrum of colors you see are these colors. You begin to see these colors at the spectrum of colors. Some people see orange. So when you come and say, oh, I see a yellow light, I know where you are, what is your problem, and what generates that problem, and what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. When you say, oh, I see red color, I know. When you see blue color, I know. For instance, my little boy, our first boy, some couple of Wednesdays, I think when he was around the age of 4 years, I did a minor light connection for him. You understand? Because what I wanted to see was the people that I initiate, are they telling me the truth or not? You understand? Because this boy is around 3-4 years, he doesn't know about anything of that sort. So I said, let me do minor initiation. When I say minor initiation, I wouldn't let my hand be there for long. So I regulate the amount of energy which is being channeled through me. So I asked him to close his eyes, sat him in the couch. Then we were this I'm talking about, it's about 4 years ago. Sat on the couch, and then I did a connection for him. Just about 3 seconds or so. When I removed my hand, then I say, what did you see? Do you know what he told me, Apostle? He said, I saw the light of my mind. And as in the what color? He said it was like red and it was moving to white. And I removed my hand and it went. Yes, there's a need why you should see the red, because it was still a child. And the red is the first energy center, which is more connected to the earth space. You understand? Because he has not built an intermediary characteristic trace. So he was connected to the earth and to the heavens. That is why he was seeing the red and was about to see the white. You get the whole thing? Because at that time, at the age of 4 years, he hasn't gotten in association with the world, so they can build that intermediary experiences of emotions and all those things. So there are two experiences he had: the contact with the physical world and the contact with the non-physical world. So he said he saw red, which is contact with the root chakra, and then it was changing to white when I removed my hand. But he said that I saw the light of my mind at the age of 4 years. So when people begin to meditate, depending on their energy field, they begin to see this spectrum of colors at the beginning. Then when they begin to see the spectrum of colors, then when these people meditate for a while, so the spectrum of colors you see also contribute to the cleansing of your aura. And yet, time will not be dry. And I say, gold now the born a cleansing aura, and cleansing aura be catch us and yet too. Because auras are not created depending on external factors. Auras are created depending on your internal characteristics. The way you think, the way you feel, the kind of desire you develop, and the kind of will you have determine the kind of energy field you resonate from within yourself, and this creates the aura around you. It's not based on anything external. So that will come into more detail when we want to talk about the difference between the aura and vibration. So this is how this is how we look like. Okay, this is our energy field. That's how we are resonating. And sometimes it gets to the very black one like this. That is the people who have really gone deep into that, the negative aspect of it. You understand? Who do a lot of killing of animals, killing of blood, doing all those things. When you see them, you see their aura very dark. You understand? But most people doesn't have this aura, a dark aura. Most people, they have the shades of different spectrum of colors of aura. But the people, kill humans, do all those kind of blood things. They think into the when the people are fond of killing animals, they have that gray-like aura. You understand? And those who go into that much more deeper ones have that dark aura. Now, this is an example of a picture that was taken and try to create the aura space with these pictures. You understand? So these are camera work of different auras that was captured around people. You get it? So all these things are different auras of people that was captured at different times with specific cameras. You get it? Yes. So that is what it is. So different thought pattern was captured and gave different aura space radiations. Now, finally, this is what we are talking about. Finally, this is what we are talking about. Okay, so this is how it is like. Just as I showed you here, when you're working within, when it's speculable, but this is to give you the definition so we can talk about the various spectrums. But actually, this is how the energy looks like. But for the sake of learning, this is how we're going to use. So this is the most brightest of all the aura. This is the cosmic energy. This is it. Okay, the white one, we call it pure aura without dent. It's in a state of pure cosmic energy, and you can see that from here. Okay, at the top here, you can see it from here where the arrow is. So please follow the arrow for me. So where the arrow, you can see here, and it is synonymous to that. This is a cosmic energy that is here. Okay, then you have this violet here, which is here. So this violet you see here represents independent person. When you become independent in thinking, okay, this when somebody who has the ability to see aura will see this thing around you. Okay. And when you enter into transcendence, or you're connected to the higher frequency of transcendental energy, then the person will see the white and then see this violet. Now, it also shows that you have developed your intuition. It also shows that you have a strong intuition and you are very intelligent. Your level of intelligence is high. Now, one thing that blocks the frequency of this aura energy or pollutes the frequency of this aura energy is ego. That is ego. That is what blocks this aura energy. It is ego. Attachment to ego. Because at this level, once you begin to develop strong intuition, become very intelligent, what word would you use for ego in our regular language? Pride. Oh, once we are pride is a lower form of ego. But pride is like ego, but it's more inferior compared to ego, because ego is much more stronger pride. You understand? And that is what begins to pollute. So once you begin to think egoistic, and you begin to feel egoistic, and begin to feel pride, and begin to show off the character of pride, then come and say, who are you to talk to me? Who are you to advise me? Then begin to corrupt that your energy space, because at that state of thought, instead of creating that intelligent aura, then the aura becomes negative. Okay, then the aura becomes negative. Now, when the aura becomes negative, what does it produce in your life? Today we are learning, when the aura becomes negative, what does it produce in your life? Though somebody will see the violet in there, but if the violet aura spectrum which is there was not generated based on positive thinking of intelligence, kindness, and all those things, but was generated as a result of ego due to negative propensity of thought, then that aura space, they begin to attract negative things. What are some of them? Then you realize that you become very cunning person. Is cunning, very intelligent. Or you to me you sooner dream, but in a negative way, because you become cunning and you become very selfish. You understand? Your intelligence doesn't help you to think of collective help, but you think of individual help, helping yourself alone. That is workout. So you must guide what influences your inner, and that is why the Bible talks more about living a virtuous life. Life of kindness, forgiveness, compassion, and all those things. Because when you have all these things living in, then the other positive traits of your aura is created out of these positive energies that you live your life with. But when you live your life based on negative traits, okay, the colors will be generated all right, but the influences of the color is into the negative polarity. You get the whole thing? Now, we're going to go to the next one, which is the purple. Okay? We're going to go to the next one, which is the purple. Now, when purple is generated through positive means, you gain spiritual connection and you become very gentle. It gives you that spirit of gentleness and you have stronger spiritual connection, where the purple deals with your pineal gland, or what you call the third eye. Now, if this purple is generated, the spectrum of your aura energy purple is generated from negativity, you become a liar and disloyal person, dishonest person, because it creates illusion for you. It creates illusion for you and become dishonored person. You are not a loyal person, you become a disloyal person in life. Because the energy that created it, you be disloyal. Because that purple color and all the energy is negative, because it came out of a negative character traits. It's very important on how you live. I'll keep repeating this. How you live your life is very important. Even the kind of friends you keep and the kind of communications you make are very important because they have influence in the way you think. Because Sebetopache said, one year downfall. Not maybe a mobeka and mass and man. Humanizing doesn't come to your mind. But oh, I don't find the Bamoka and mass and manamoka and sansema, anamoka and sema, and robbery, Nama and Yawasema. Then the top begin to think about it. Too sorry, master now, so the top begin to generate that. Then that thought leads to the will development and the desire, and this leads to the emotions. Then this begins to build that spectrum of aura of color around you. Then at a certain time, you realize that even if you are married, you are still disloyal because of over the years you have created that aura space around you through the negative thinking rather than using the positive thought. Now, from there we'll move to the blue color. Okay, from there we'll move to the blue color. Now the blue color, the one I'm treating the electrical field energy. Then we come to the I told you the aura is made up of two energy fields, which is the electrical and then the magnetic. So it is electromagnetic. What I am tackling now is the electrical. So I talk about the cosmic current, which is neither electrical or magnetic, which is the pure light radiation of white, which sits above the crown chakra. So now what I am discussing is I'm picking it from up down. So I'm talking about the electrical aspect of your aura energy. So the last of the electrical aspect of your aura energy is the blue color. So the electrical spectrum is the blue, violet, and indigo. So the last of it is the blue color. Now the blue color represents truth because that comes to your truth chakra, or the truth is truth. So the blue aura field around you is generated from how you use your truth energy field. Now, when you are truthful, you generate that aura field in so people, you begin to develop trust. People naturally begin to trust you. You understand? Now, what works against that aura spectrum is lies. It's lies. And when that happens, one, you become a liar. Two, you become snobbish. Most of the time, such people are very moody. And then they are very critical of people. Such people, they are very critical of people. Now, then we come to the next one, which literally I call the balance, okay, which is the green color, which have its resonation from the heart energy center, which is the green color. Now, the green color, which is this one, which is this aura, okay, the green color signifies your balance. So when you become balanced in your thinking, okay, who will be that you are very balanced in your thinking, and you are very communicative and social in the positive way, you understand? You begin to develop that positive green aura around you. Now, what fight against that color is grief or yao. Obi a show. Because when dealing with people, you try as much as possible to balance. To be your idea, a show power. So grief makes you develop the negative side of this aura energy. And when it is in the negative, what happens? It makes you selfish and self-centered and make you materialistic because you are thrown off balance. You are thrown off balance, so it makes you selfish, greedy, and materialistic. Because why? Because you are thrown off balance. And once you are thrown off balance, then you look to yourself. But when you are in a state of balance, you make sure everything around you, it's okay. So that is the electrical aspect of the generating of energy. So you have to watch the way you think in terms of generation of your electrical energy. That forms half of your aura space, okay, or form half of your aura energy. So you have to check on your ego, check on your state of illusion, and check on your state of truthfulness. Don't be grossly engulfed in things that are egoistic. If you want to have a positive aura, positive electrical aura field, don't be too egoistic, or don't be egoistic at all. Don't be engulfed in things that have to do with egoism. Also, try as much as possible to stay away from things that are elusive in nature, and try to be truthful in life. Once you are able to leave these three characteristics traits, what happens is that you begin to naturally generate a positive electrical aura energy field around you. Now, then you have to try to be balanced with the green one. Okay, the fourth aura space, you have to try as much as possible to be balanced in your thinking. Don't be discriminatory. Way on your madam for way in your madam. You know, there are people, say, or the nada for tika. This is how best I show people are not balanced. Or the nada for tika no more driving. Then that for no year reckless driving, and it happens even in Trotro. Then that for a year reckless driving. He will spontaneously blame the other driver. Just natural, because most people are not balanced. Watch it. So, what you Trotro? Now, misunderstanding bad. Almost everybody in the Trotro defends the Trotro driver against the other person. Even you may just have only one person as a driver not driving, and that is the balanced person. But because most people are not balanced, or no share the safety, it is a way now they be creating problem might be affecting safety, then they back on fault. But when you get maybe one or two people in that total say that or no share the safety, but share the reality of the issue, we will tell the driver, your driver one yard. Most of the time, see that the driver will be quarreling with him or with the person. Now, no, but no, so you overtaking. But what's the better you overtaking? No, why you overtaking? I didn't tell one man of mine, and I was all kind of they share. But in most cases, almost everybody, and this has happened many times, almost everybody in the church will be defending the driver of their church. So you see that the driver of the other church will be defended by 8 people, and the driver in the opposing traffic church will be defended by 8 people because they are not balanced. You may have just only one person or 2 people being balanced, saying that no, they're here. So this is how our life is, and this is how the energy around us is formed. Now, let's go to the magnetic aspect of it. I've treated the electrical aspect of it. I told you it's going to be very brief because it's just straightforward. Now, let's go to the magnetic aspect of your energy field that generates your aura. Now, with the magnetic aspect of your energy field that generates your aura, I will start with the red color. Now, when this red color of your aura is generated from your magnetic field energy, and it is generated based on positive action, positive thoughts, and positive emotions, it makes you well-grounded person. It makes you very well-grounded. Things that don't move you by heart. It makes you very energetic person, and makes you develop strong will. Because it deals with survival, so it makes you develop very strong will. Yet, if that red color aura energy is generated through your magnetic field with negative propensity or negative character traits, one, it breeds fear. When it is bred or it is generated based on fear, you become a very destructive person. You was saying, Obi wa woman are there and Chiba was saying. Yeah, so lack of knowledge. Obi woman are there, I was saying. And that is why in Kuala at the baby age, almost say are there. Because you notice every child is a destructive person. Akwara growing up, woman in book was maybe at the age of 1, 2, 3 years thereabout. They are naturally destructive. Naturally destructive because they operate in that energy field, which is the red color energy field. Now, through training and education, when the child begins to then, oh no, I didn't know, then you say, then you begin to let the child generate the positive aspects of that base energy field. That is why children are most of the time they are destructive in nature, or they want to scatter them all, you know. That is why even sometimes say hot is almost hot. It's a bends are bends because they are densely rooted in that first color, which is the red color. And the red color by its nature, in its negative polarity, is destructive in nature. It makes you have a fury temper. Akola bina ni before on kese that is the only food in the house or between the 9 account to go. It makes you have a fury temper. And I'm using this natural phenomenon for you to know that these are natural things. And it creates that energy space around you. And it's like opinion so what only akoma or to akwala by heart. You see kwasia bata akwala ade akoma ho na eso di what tin yeah tin the one here people akwala by heart because it's resonating with the negative polarity of temper. So in the positive, you are well grounded, very energetic and strong will. That is when it's developed based on positive character traits like love, compassion, forgiveness. But if it is developed based on fear, you develop negative character traits as destructive person and fury tempered person. Why? Because do you know that? A fearful person was had Opa. That is why soldiers are trained to take fear from them before they are given guns. Just for one in two, he shoots indiscriminately. Yeah, show American movies. Say, yeah, feel say, be about them. What you say now? Obi for a man into or to sound. I was like, spray indiscriminately. Or both one indiscriminately. Because that is fear. Fear makes you destructive in nature. And courage makes you constructive. So you have to check your character. And yet time you will be jare and I say nyanya will be jare and a bit you aura. It is not true. Become dangerous. The next session of video we are going to make will show you the difference between aura and vibration and what Tamil Wu and Ninya and other things can do for you in your vibration, but not in your aura. That aura can never be changed through buffing items. Aura is only formed through character traits. And so if you want to change your aura, you have to check your character traits and reform your character traits. The next color you're going to deal with is the orange. The orange aura color. The aura color that carries the orange spectrum. When this aura is created, this aura spectrum energy is created from your magnetic field based on positive characteristics or character traits or behavioral pattern. It makes you creative, friendly, and very calm. It makes you a very calm person. It makes you a very creative person. It makes you a very friendly person. when the aura around you in terms of the orange space is created based on positive traits. On its negative propensities, if it is generated based on negative character, it makes you lazy. You become a very lazy person, and you are self-indulgent. It makes you a lazy person. It makes you self-indulgent. At the same time, too, it makes you feel shame, because the energy that destroyed that magnetic field to generate positive characteristics traits is shame. Then we are going to take the last one, which is the yellow color. The last one, which is the yellow color. Now, this yellow color, when it is generated based on positive traits, it makes you, sorry, what I talked about was rather the yellow color. The creative, the friendly, and the calmness is rather yellow color. I misrepresented what I wrote. Okay, the creative, friendliness, and calmness is the yellow color. So the orange color makes you thoughtful and makes you a considerate person. That's the one we just had. So when you have the orange color, it makes you thoughtful and considerate person. And what works on it negatively is guilt. Developed from negative propensity, it makes you self-indulgent and lazy. That is for the orange color. Now we are going to the last and the final one, which is the yellow color. Now the yellow color, when developed out of positive character and behavioral pattern, it makes you creative, friendly, and calm. The yellow color, it makes you creative, friendly, and calm. But when it is developed out of the negative character or wrong character or bad character or evil characteristics, it makes you fearful, it makes you lazy, and also makes you careless. So there are people, they are careless, they don't care what happens to them. They eat anything, they drink anything. You are advising a person on healthy living, on sick bed, he's still drinking and eating things that will destroy his life. I think we had a class sometime last time. When we were talking about diet, somebody was drinking soda that is destructive to life, and we were talking about it. And the person was drinking the particular soda we were talking about. He was drinking it whilst the lecture on diet is going on. So that is how our energy field, which is our electromagnetic field, is built. And you must understand it. That is how it is built. And this determines your attraction in life. So if, let's say, now, okay, let me go back so now I can talk to. Okay, so let's say now we went through all those various colors and everything. Now you understand what the colors represent when it's generated from pure divine character traits, what the benefit you get out of it, the kind of attractions manifestations you have in your life, and when that aura color spectrum is generated from a bad character traits, the kind of things you get in your life. So this then becomes your magnetism. This then determines your manifestations and your experience in your life. And it is in these spaces that this energy dwells on, because these auras energy centers are most of the time permanent. And that's why it takes time to be able to change it. They are permanent. So when these malefic energies, the demons, the evil energies, and all those entities come, they come to dwell on your aura so as they can work in your life. Now, when a negative energy or a bad entity comes and your aura is positively charged, it cannot stand on it, because like in the principle of that, it operates on the principle like attract like poles attract, unlike poles repel. That's how the aura magnetic space, electromagnetic space field work. So the entity now okra negative energy, so it is negatively charged. So when it comes to, let's say, an apostle's aura is positively charged in all the various spectrum, that entity that has a negative charge energy has no place to land on, and it cannot attract. So then he has to flee. And that's what they came to Jesus Christ, but they had nothing in him, because there was nothing in him to stand on. But if your aura that you are having is formed based on negative character, that means that aura will be negatively charged. Now, when the evil energy that has been sent is also negatively charged, when it comes, it has a how do you call it, a conducive breeding grounds to stand and to multiply and to replenish, and then begin to trouble and to torment you. And that is why most spiritual people who are well educated, when you come to them, they first begin to work on your aura by trying to teach you how to live a more prudent and a more respectful and a more balanced life, so that your aura will be transformed, because they know that that is the beginning of all troubles in your life. They know that that is the beginning of all the woes and troubles in our lives. And that is why when you read through all the holy scriptures, both the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Quran, and all those books, they all, some way, somehow, directly or indirectly, tells you to live a life based on positive character traits. Why? So that you can build a stronger aura. And the aura, some people call it an edge. You see, so they say when the edge around you is broken, what? The devil can get you. And they give a classical scenario of such situation in the chapter of Job. You understand? When God told Satan, "How do you see my servant?" He said, "It's because you have put an edge around him." You understand? Because his aura was strong. Because Job made sure that every time, even if according to the manuscript of the metaphor, even if his children does a party, quickly he will go and do some offering in case if they have done anything wrong against the entities. So always he was trying to maintain a positive aura. That's all Job's story was all about. So the edge that was around him, which is the aura which was protecting him, was to be broken. So when the chance was given and the edge was broken, before the energy was able to go in and do what? And deal with him, to see his level of steadfastness in divine love. You get it? So this is how this whole thing works. And we must understand it. So let us live our lives from the point of our behavioral and character traits in a more positive light, so that we begin to build positive aura energy around us. And this become our permanent field of attraction and manifestation of our experiences. Impai bebrebe a yɛbɔ na still nyama enko yɛ ni nyinaa. Sɛ bia yɛhwɛ this side a anka bia nyama sesa. Because you cannot do the same thing and expect to have a different result. That is not the mind of a wise man. You cannot be doing the same thing and expect to have a different result. You cannot be praying and go out there and quarrel with people. You cannot be praying and go out there and cheat people. You cannot be praying and go out there and sleep with people's husbands, causing pain in people's families and marriages, and you still to have a different result in your life. It does not work. If the man is married and he wants you, me, I'm not against polygamy. In principle, that's me. I am not the type who believe that one man have to marry one woman. No, I'm not in that principle. Unless, of course, you want to be a man, a man of God, according to Bible standard. Say you must only marry one if you want to be a bishop, isn't it? If you want to be a man of God, that too for me is an principle. So who will be no penal, no so power, man, call one day. You're into one country and you're first wife. Now, first wife, no on into no call you one day. The main shit actually and cause it pay na man in free ni money ni so to your benefit and causing pain. Now you are not got chance or them so people. But somebody will right there, papa. It doesn't work that way. You can't go to somebody's company, steal the person, and expect that will be your company or company be the because that's the energy you've created around you. That's the aura you have created around you. There's this man I know, okay? I won't mention his name. When I started building my house in Dansoma, Kaswaya, I used to buy cement from him. So I go and deposit money with him and for cement and all those things. But with time, I got to realize that the guy was working with a bank in the Western region, okay? And he did that Kululu, took the money and ran to Kaswa here, and then opened a very big cement shop. He became one of the biggest cement suppliers in Kaswa here, Ofanko. And I think he was the first person who made me see the Super Sem cement. It became very big. It was even half trailer, and a week they can offload cement like 365 trailers, depending on the availability of cement. Do you know, as we talk today, he's a wanted man. As we talk today, he's wanted because of the energy he created around him in opening the business. Obisu ebe the same thing. Ebe Gene cement scanning booted away with it. Now he owes the bank, owes this. To the same middle class and there's a price on his head. People with me in a man. I say the last time the driver supplied me cement and asked, oh, so is this man around? So Charlie, hey, they say I banks and say we'll be out in the baby and 1 billion. There's 100,000 price on his head for anybody who will show where to find him. This is how it is. In Kanfo Echo Proverbs, I say, Ke Ochodo no Kamachu mini, Ojo Chaloe, ni Ocho. I don't know how to say it in Chi. Say, Ke Ocha Ojo no Kamachu, Ojo Chalo, ni Bahi Ocho. Ubopo, the Sidaya, Po Bofo, and a Babe Hayon Sadino. Omabe Tenemu. To do time of the Temos of Gatos, the one who to know Jan and Yamo Dynamo. Who to know to me to know. Beware about how you live your life. Because every thought, every will, and every desire, and every emotion you are creating or you are having is creating your aura around you. So there's no need to work on bonnet. There's no need to work on bonnet. There's no need to work I think I'm movie. Just even when the person is hurting you, try as much as possible to generate good energy. That's what the Bible tells us, that don't pay evil with what? With evil. But they understand the principle that nipa kono pay with evil will create bad energy for himself. Also, if you want to pay him back with evil you to create a bad aura for yourself. So it is not about revenge or something like that. It's about protecting your aura so that your aura doesn't get corrupted and polluted with negative things. That's what the Bible says, vengeance is mine. To be your bonnet grana. Just take it easy. Guide your thought. Bible says that guide your thought, for out of it comes the issues of life. In your Bible, it's metaphysical. And say, guide your thoughts, for out of it comes the issue of life. Because your thought constantly creates your reality, creates the energy field around you, and that energy field determines the manifestations of your experience and reality, which are the issues of life. The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, that is emotions. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So what you develop in your emotion becomes your experience. Because the feelings you're having in your emotions is generating an electromagnetic energy field, which becomes your aura, and that aura becomes your experience. So as a man thinketh in his heart, so is his experiences. With a metrem ade kakra minimum eye dwuma me de kyerem se be mubetumi tintim na mujina, so that you can be triumphant in every aspect of your life. Going forward, we will look at aura in business and marriage and how it works out. I notice most people doesn't like this message. They like the magical one, isn't it? The mystical one. Of away for can fatame who can we wanna be say for away can you want those ones. Idea be my total and permanent freedom. Yempe nipa pe partial ad hoc measure. Partial. Meantime na yempe be for the meantime. But at the end na sika fo omo nyansa no omunye sika e na ebi so omo nana no so. Because the undrained ahoto benya immediately, but during the time I this 60 years breno no time on this 60 years I feel no nya ahoto, but time I 40 years dream say me ko top on cheku na wa enjoy no odwin say okoto block dey see dan. The time I this 60 years I feel no odwin say obeto block no we see ni dan dada until they can nya hand to mouth. Check the way we think, because everything is creating our energy space. Beware. Abrabon Nahosa. Let's look for the substantial things, sustainable things. Now, even the whole United Nations is talking about sustainable goals. Let's look at things that are sustainable, not ad hoc. All these things you're going to do, all these things you're going to do, ayahuasca, bathing tango, they are all ad hoc measures. They are all temporal solutions. Find knowledge. Knowledge gives you permanency. Get knowledge, because knowledge gives you permanency. Because lack of knowledge, you will perish. They didn't say lack of bathing tango. They didn't say lack of prayer. They didn't say lack of nyenya. They didn't say lack of ayahuasca. They said lack of knowledge, you will perish. And the things that are destroying you are the things that you don't know, not the things that you know. Because if you know salt is not good for you, eat salt. But since you don't know salt is not good for you, you'll be eating salt, and salt will be destroying you, will be harming you, and you don't know. So the things you don't know are the things that are destroying you. And that's what the Bible says, for lack of knowledge, people suffer, people perish. So get knowledge. In all that getting, get understanding. And your life will become better. It's my prayer that the Spirit Divine inside you, which is the Christ essence within you, would open your eye of understanding and set you free from this false reality that they have created through different means and different holes. And you'll be liberated from all this bondage, and you come to the true awakening of the need for you to gain your consciousness and to have union with your essence, so you attain balance, so that you begin to function in the right way, that begin to generate the positive, powerful, impermeable aura energy around you. Thank you, and God bless you. I'll meet you then in the next session.